First and foremost, I'm gonna say a blessing, a meditation. Yours truly, androgynous, pansexual, founder of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. From my underground room, office, and temple, literally underground room, office, and temple. I'm grateful. My rent is paid for March. My electricity bill is paid. Half, perhaps a third of my phone bill is paid, and from my estimation, have enough food. Even if I don't receive or buy, purchase, acquire any more food on my marches on buying from the grocery store or by the local donations at the food bank. I am grateful, thankful for that. I have this food. Food is holy, sacred, and divine, which will last me for this 22-day special revolution rite, which yours truly began March 20th on the spring equinox. This is the second day. Yesterday marched for about 4 hours and 15 minutes, although I did stop at a shop to get some halva on discount, and 5 minutes, so about 4 hours and more than 4 hours and a half of marching in steel-toe shoes. My question to the leaders of the free world is, when is the last time that you marched in steel-toe boots? Leaders of the free world. Pose an open question. This raw, real, revolutionary, unedited video, which, though I try to keep it humble, I am proud, LGBTQ proud, but also proud sometimes of this YouTube channel, which doesn't have, I think I got a new subscriber the other last week. I'm 47 at this point in time, March 22nd. Get a like on my Facebook post, maybe maybe 2 likes. On my Instagram, sometimes 3 likes. I pride myself that it's raw, real, revolutionary, and although some videos have a theme and do think before the theme is, in this video the theme is spirituality, freedom, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, and the complementary theory of citizen integration theory, democratic fusion theory, and debt refusion theory, which are theories which yours truly has written over more than the past 7 years, more than 7 years, with one foot on the streets and the other foot in the libraries, where I've made the libraries of Hawk Island, Montreal my second home, and the tens of thousands of books, my friends. And I'm not perfect, far from it. I do not play it self-righteous. I got issues, get moody, get upset, get triggered. Don't got lust, vices, but overall, that stated, I am for the greater good, as the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom is for the greater good. To break an impasses of the left, of the right, and right in yours universal revolutionary centrism. I pour myself a cup of coffee. I'm grateful, thankful for this cup of coffee, which originally the bean comes in a red berry. The red berry originally, it's a red berry. The black coffee bean, or dark brown, whatever shades of black or brown the bean is. Initially, it comes from a red berry. Initially, inception, and just like all fruits, vegetables, and legumes are created, made, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. The sun now rises and now sets. It's 1:09 p.m. in Hawk, H-A-W-K, Hawk like the bird, Hawk, Hawk, Montreal. In Berlin it is, what, 7:09 already, sunset now over Berlin, city of the pyramids, my past life, home in many past lives, many incarnation, born in the USA, twice that way, which is south of Hawk Island. 718 miles from south of Hawk Island is the south of the USA, where yours truly 156 years ago served in the US Army. All ALL fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess Goddess. Yeah, I say it. Hear people say God, 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 right, all the time. Well, if I die today when I go on my march after 3 p.m. in Hawk Island, Montreal, a truck smashes into me. Dragan, you, whatever, androgynous, LGBTQ, whatever. Fuck! Let it known, and this video is gonna be posted by then, 3 p.m., that I said the word goddess. 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 And I'm calling my sisters and brothers, androgynous, trans, women like me to be priestesses again in the temples. Priests, right? Priestess was chased out. Let the beards grow, chased by a council of bearded fools. And what did we do? Chase the goddess out, the priestess out. And the replacement for what a god, what a deity have we been struggling ever since. And I'm not perfect. Emotions, feelings, the irrational world matters. It's important as 2 plus 2 equals 4, as the logic and the mathematic. In a parallel life, science, innovation, and technology is my chosen path, where satellites, supercomputers, ICBM rockets, software, and micro gadgets is my universe. In this life now, it's 22 of March, on this 22-day special revolution right journey, marching towards Mount Royal for a new world order of world peace, international justice, and secured and ensured global freedom. To that trinity, trying to attain harmony between nature and civilization. My chosen path is art, spirituality, psychology, psychosexual theory, financial, political, social theory, theory in general, history, philosophy, the irrational, emotional, sexual worlds. They can be complementary, just like 2 plus 2 equals 4. Doesn't mean we have to write all in white or all in black or red. The color of the Dragon Army, officially red. Green, the color of the Dancing Goddess, officially green. You can write the 2 for red, the plus, one line black, the other white. The other 2 we can write it in, the first 2 we wrote it in green, we can write it the second in red, or vice versa, red or green or red, or red or green. And then the equal, one line black, the other white, and the 4, one line purple, one line orange, the other one yellow. So in this equation, we can write it with all the colors of the rainbow. All the colors of the rainbow. That's a way of me saying my philosophy that the irrational, emotional, and spiritual does not have to contradict, but rather be complementary to the mathematic and the logic and the scientific. When I say in a mystical, spiritual sense that all fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun, it's a metaphor. It's an allegory. It's a way of presenting a mystic, spiritual, or cult side. But in reality, it's also true. Because indeed, Mother Nature, planet Earth, is mysterious, powerful entity of rock and water and elements, the elements within, all the more than 100 and 200 now, the man-made ones, elements of nature, within nature. The hair has different elements, minerals in the hair. My mane, black mane, black mane out, right? This red and this metal, this red string, also has little particles and different elements combined, as this metal does, right? As the hair, or the body. So when I say the goddess that dances with her brother the sun, to make, create, and produce all fruits, vegetables, and legumes. Fruits, vegetables, legumes that our brothers and sisters, farmers, harvest for us to make, upgrade, or maintain civilization. I'm calling the leaders of the free world to go. So I'm saying the leaders of the free world. Politicians, parliamentarians here in Canada, liberals, NDP, conservatives. I'll get with the Dragon Army and let's go give them farmers a good massage, man. Good washing of the feet. Good kissing of the hands. The truckers with it. Because the farmers harvest the fruits. This black coffee bean doesn't say, usually I do check, it says rich dark roast, so that I know. But reading the label, usually others, it says product or made in or origin of Colombia, which is Latin America, Brazil, Uruguay. This one, I don't know, it doesn't say on them. I could call, investigate. I know the brand, I know what it is. They have the customer service number. Maybe the customer service number, if I do call now, he doesn't even know. He's going to have to do more research or call home and until somebody knows where this particular brand of coffee, rich dark roast from Maxwell, they don't pay me, I don't get zero commission, nothing. I just slip to the tongue. That somebody knows down the line of the supply chain. Somebody knows down the line of the supply chain. Somebody knows down the line of the supply chain where the coffee bean originates from. Right? Where the coffee bean originates from. Now I can meditate and meditate, do the taste and prior that it's Colombia. But I might be wrong. I might be far off. It could be from Vietnam. It could be from Asia. Could be finally that after years of me craving and wanting to experience and taste coffee from Uganda, Uganda, UGANDA is a country kind of east center, it's kind of centrist. Uganda is a country in Africa and is among the top 10 coffee bean producers in the world. I believe it's still 8th or 9th or even 7th, somewhere there between the top 10 producers of coffee. Brazil, I believe, is still number 1. I believe now, recently, Vietnam is number 2. I'm gonna check. Top producers of countries. So let's say it can be from 10 countries. Since do know the top 10 producers or the top 5, it could be, more chances are that it's from the top producers of the coffee bean. So Brazil, highly likely. Colombia, highly likely. Vietnam, highly likely now. Perhaps Costa Rica, Honduras, Ecuador also. Cuba even, right? Cuba, here in Canada at least, we have coffee made in Cuba, People's Republic, Socialist Republic of Cuba. Another paradox which requires some discussion. Just by another cup of coffee, perhaps more coffee than I'm willing to ingest, just to discuss Cuba. Which, when I went, I totally loved the Cuban people and the manner. But the paradox that it still maintained the socialist / communist Marxist Leninist system of one party state based on socialist, based on communist principle. Paradox, just last year there were protests and this and whatnot, and they have some access to the internet, and other things. But the paradox of Cuba, maybe anybody loving to commission, because yours truly is in debt, $10,000, or finance your donation via PayPal. I'm still waiting for my first donation via PayPal. First dollar, maybe by 3 o'clock p.m. 93 minutes left till 3 p.m. Maybe I'll get my first $1 via PayPal. Maybe Elon Musk sends me $1.50. In a parallel life, I top with Elon Musk, top with Bill Gates, Sheryl Sandberg. I top with all of them scientifically, technology-wise, innovation. Now, for all I know, it could be hacked. Somebody watching me from Eastern Europe or Pentagon or CIA, NSA, CSIS, Canadian Secret Service, or FSB, or Mossad. Well, I'm gonna make a confession. I did watch porn during the weekend. I masturbated like a, was imagining I was a beautiful fucking whore. So now that we got it out of the way, I'm androgynous pansexual, and just in case, it was like I got dirt. I'm not perfect. Y'all know how to hide better though. Leaders of the free world, man. Half of you, most of you ain't got half my passion. Politicians, leaders of the free world, most of you ain't got half my passion. Y'all just got more money for a PR, public relations company. Public relations company. Public relations company. Yeah, I admit, I lust for my brothers and sisters of a darker complexion. Ooh. 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 Anyways, we got that out of the way. Yours truly androgynous pansexual founder of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. I'm grateful my rent's paid, man. Got food, got noodles, sardines. I got about 13 sardine cans. And I got pasta. I got pasta to survive this 22-day journey. So all the food, yeah, should last me already 2 days in my 22-day ride. So anyways, back to the coffee meditations, because I digress, but just in case, because in this life, philosophy, physicality, spirituality, theory, psychosexual theory, art, the irrational, emotional, spiritual life is my chosen path. In that parallel life, science, innovation, and technology, micro gadgets, supercomputers, ICBM rockets, satellites, and software micro gadgets, coding, that is my universe. Basically, logic, mathematics, cold rationality is my universe in this life. Poetry, philosophy, theory, art, song, dancing, working out, training, physicality, spirituality, sexuality, psychology, theory, psychosexual theory, philosophical, social theory, spirituality, mysticism, the occult, irrational, emotional life can gotta be complementary. That's why I say goddess, Godds, goddess, God, goddess, God, goddess, God, goddess, goddess, God, goddess. Fundamentally, in essence, Adrian Hanna, dragon, androgynous, pansexual, founder of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, I am fundamentally, in essence, principally, and first and foremost, I am the world's greatest living, dancing, millennial rainbow poet. World's greatest living, dancing, millennial rainbow poet. World's greatest living, dancing, millennial rainbow poet. 7 words. In essence, that's what I am. Living, because Aleister Crowley, he was the greatest ever poet. Greatest ever. So back to this coffee, we're gonna meditate. So I'm gonna drink this coffee now. I'm drinking this coffee doing this video, raw, real, revolutionary. Most of y'all rappers ain't gotta have my passion. Y'all just got more money for a studio session. Yeah, most of your rappers ain't gotta have my passion. Y'all just got more money for a studio session. Most of y'all rappers ain't gotta have my passion. Just got more money for a studio session. It's like the politicians. More money they got half my passion. They got more money for a PR, public relations company, campaign advertising, money financing, economic. To get a better suit and tie. The tie, 1, 2. I think there's even the third one here. One, green for the Dancing Goddess Army. The other one with a lion, 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 like the animal, king of the jungle, on it. Maybe too tight for me, and unless it's technical, mathematic, statistics that I read from a piece of paper. Because reading from a piece of paper, is what most of the leaders of the free world do nowadays. Piece of paper there, look at the camera, look down, read 6 words from a piece of paper, look back up at the camera, read another 6, look back at the camera, read another 6, look back up at the camera. Leaders of the free world, man. Drop down and give Dragon 13 push-ups with love and for the sake of world peace. Open question, when is the last time the leaders of the free world marched? So like yesterday marched more than 4.5 hours in steel toe shoes because my steel toe boots lost the sole, the left boot. Not the S-O-U-L as in the spiritual mystic, occult, metaphorical, metaphysical entity, soul, but in the S-O-L-E, S-O-L-E, S-O-L-E. So decided that until it's dry, I'm not going to test them because water's going to go in. So back to the coffee meditations. I'm going to pour some more. So this coffee, when I say the bean is made, produced, and created, and all fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun, and harvested by my brothers and sisters, farmers who harvest now fruits all over the world, and now fruits, vegetables, and legumes are growing. Here in spring, it's 2 days in the spring. Time for cultivation, toiling of the soil. Farmers, big farming at the macro level that we have across North America, and we still have small farms as well, right? Family-owned farms for generations. They still exist, right? It's not everybody who is a big city citizen like myself who spent most of his life in big city of Montreal, Hawk Island, right? And with citizen integration theory, that's call for citizens from the big cities to the rural to the urban to go visit, see how farming is done, how these dams, there's 61 dams of Hydro-Quebec built since 1963, who power, I'm doing it thanks to this electricity and power that I'm recording this, and it's clean, renewable, and zero emission energy, pollution, right? How many have seen those dams? I'll be honest with you, I haven't been physically to any. I've seen pictures, I've read about them, when they were built, how, and XYZ, but I want to go see them. 61 of them, 61. How many people from Montreal have went to see them or are aware? If I ask somebody now, how many would know that there are 61 dams powering, and not only Quebec, but selling to my brothers and sisters in the USA, Maine, Massachusetts, Vermont, New York, I believe in New Jersey, even in Maine, even New Hampshire, 5 or 6 states. There's a doubt. I know of a few states. There might be 5 or 6, even more, 7 states, 5 or 6 states in the U.S. that purchase, do business, financials with Hydro-Quebec, which powers all private and public. Go on in the streets at night. Yesterday, coming back from my march, the lights in the street, they were clean, zero emission, no pollution whatsoever. no pollution whatsoever. It's clean water, veins of the goddess, right? And built by tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions perhaps who labored since started before 1963. I say 1963 in the current bureaucratic public sense, how it is now. Institutionalized, meaning the structure, the legal structure originates in then, but it's preceding back to even the 1920s and 30s. The starting of the harnessing hydroelectric power in Quebec. It dates to 1920s. The harnessing of the hydroelectric power in Quebec, just how its current state is. And when the headquarters, the skyscraper was built in Montreal, Hawk Island, because we have skyscrapers in Montreal, Hawk Island, Montreal since the 60s, right? In 1931, Montreal had already 1,000,000 people in 1931. Right, 1931, I believe it was the most top 10 populated cities in the world, in the top 10 or 20 or top 10. I'm pretty sure top 10, but there's a doubt, so it could be top 20. Montreal in the 1931. In 1931, Montreal had 1,000,000. 1,000,000. Had 1,000,000 population-wise. 1,000,000 citizen population. So the coffee, back to the coffee, digressed again. So this coffee, it's like all fruits, vegetables, and legumes, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. And now fruits, vegetables, and legumes are created east, west, north, south. And now the changing of the season, it's spring here, but in Latin America, southern hemisphere, is beginning autumn, right? The interchanging of the seasons, right? They're harvesting grapes now in Argentina. It's grape harvesting season until mid-April or early April or so. They're harvesting now grapes in Argentina, right? And they're gonna make wine. Wow, we harvest grapes because we grow grapes. Revelation. Grapes is our my favorite fruit. Grapes, black grapes, red grapes, green grapes, small grapes, big grapes, grapes of all genres, tiny grapes. I like the bigger ones. Bigger ones that are blacker, dark bluish, even green, red. Anyways, grapes my favorite fruit. If you wanna give me a surprise and give me a box of grapes for a Sabbath weekend, could eat grapes all day, every day, man. Even the grapes are made, created, and produced initially by the dance of the goddess with her brother's son. Initially, meaning fundamentally at the beginning, and harvested because there's wild grapes and wild fruits, vegetables, bananas, right? We learn how to domesticate, tame, and do the agricultural process, but the fertility and the process is the dance of the goddess with a bird son. What does that mean? Mother Earth, nature, black, fertile earth with the water, and the golden heat of the sun rays, and the elements which are within, the vitamin D, and all the other more mysterious elements in the light and the life. And now it's 1:34 p.m. EST. Not always conscious of this, but across from coast to coast, right? Now in Europe, they're seeing sunset. Sun rises east, sun sets in the west. Right? Sun rises in the east, sets in the west. Sun rises in the east, sets in the west. Sun rises in the east, sets in the west. So now it's 1:34 p.m. EST, but in Europe, there's in Africa, in the Middle East, and Egypt, they're seeing the sunset. They're seeing the sunset now. Sunset. in Israel, Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Cairo, or was many past lives incarnated by the Nile, by the Euphrates River, by the Danube, incarnations in Africa, Egypt, ancient Babylon, Israel, and Europe, Rome. So I roam by the Danube, by the Euphrates in those past lives, by the Nile. And now sunset. Sunset now. In those. Berlin, Germany, and Israel, Egypt, Africa, Europe, the Middle East. Seeing sunset now. As it's midday, 1:35 p.m. EST. Oh, the sun now is pouring, shedding, or giving, our term giving, light and heat and life, vitamin D and other mysterious elements within the rays of the sun at a macro level from coast to coast. Not only Canada, US, Mexico, Honduras, as we go down south from Mexico, Cuba, the islands, Haiti, right on the small islands. And after Mexico, we have, I'm not sure this is going to be in order, but Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, Panama, Costa Rica, Belize. Then we go to Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, Chile, Peru, Bolivia, Uruguay, Paraguay, Argentina. Right? So across all the American continent, my policies have one border, two oceans for the Americas. One border, two oceans. 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 And it's shedding light and life and light across all the countries at this point in time. Over so much on a macro scale. Macro scale. Over all the countries of the Americas. North America, Central America, and South America. Could be clouds, could be less, could be raining in some areas because it's thousands of square kilometers, thousands of square kilometers and miles, thousands of square kilometers and miles, the geographical expanse and areas. But nonetheless, it's shedding light on so many countries at the same time, at this point in time. And on the West Coast, we gotta subtract because we got time zones. So the more we go west, it's earlier during the day. So it's 1:38 p.m. here. So from Montreal to Vancouver on the West Coast, British Columbia, it's 3 hour difference. So I gotta subtract. So it's 13 and it's 10 in the morning, 10:38. Not only in Vancouver, British Columbia, but also Seattle, Washington State, San Francisco, California, LA. Right, it's 10:38 p.m. They're getting their day started. Their first cup of coffee. Mine too is the first cup of coffee. Got up late, couldn't go to bed. Was craving a massage. I've been craving a massage for the past 3 years. Tried to self-massage. It wasn't that good. It's not. Feels better when somebody else does it. I'm very physical. I like physical touch as much as spiritual practice and spirituality. I also admit and incorporate in my spirituality pleasure. So right now my rent is paid. Electricity bill is paid in full. Rent is paid in full. Electricity bill is paid in full. A third, maybe a half of my phone bill is paid. And got food for this 22 journey. What I could use right now is a neck rub. Hey Tom Brady, come out of retirement and give Dragan a good neck rub. For world peace, man. Gonna rate your hand game 1 to 10 by moaning. Oh. Y'all don't gotta pay anyways, but y'all gotta eat. Hey, everybody gotta eat, man. Everybody gotta eat. Everybody gotta eat. Problem is, it has been gotten more expensive during COVID and now with the situation World War III. And paradoxically, I began the General War Integrated Total Body Training System in October 2019, when already I said that we are on a trend, analyzing as an independent analyst, student scholar of history, wars, geopolitics, and civilization. I've analyzed and I've already said, came to the conclusion that we are on a path towards World War III back then, back in October 2019. That's when I created the General War Integrated Total Body Training System. Performed more than 230 sessions so far. Back to the coffee. Coffee bean originally from a red berry, just like all fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun, so are all other fruits, vegetables, and legumes. The wheat, the pasta, sunflower seeds, the tomatoes, the potatoes, the lettuce, the grains, the beans, the lentils, all fruits, vegetables, and legumes. The lentils, beans, potatoes, bananas, grapes, oranges, tomatoes, coconuts, all are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun initially. Now, fruits, vegetables, and legumes are being created, made, and produced by that dance, and are harvested by brothers and sisters, farmers, who've harvested just like this coffee bean. I don't know where this coffee bean comes from because it doesn't say. It's not indicated on the. Spilled some coffee. Right away. Just a few drops. It's not indicated on the box. But I can make a speculation. I would say it's probably from the top 5 producers. Pretty sure from the top 10 producers in the world. So pick 1 out of 10. Regardless. Could miss. I know it's Rich Dark Roast. I know the brand I could call. But maybe that person is going to have to do some research. The customer service number is there, 1-800 number, whatever. He doesn't know. Maybe even the multi-millionaire CEO who also has to eat, to go there in the office and get his CEO money, sitting in an office. And sure, went to university, acquired PhD. I also have a people's PhD. Libraries in the past more than 7 years. 1 foot in the library, the other foot in the streets. I also got the PhD, doctor's degree, people's doctor, Dr. Dragan. Not perfect, far from it. I don't need a shrink, I need a goddamn massage, good neck rub, and a good washing of the feet. That's what I fucking need. And the motherfuckers to stop fucking barking on the social media at me. Woof, woof, woof. If I want to hear dogs bark, I got a dog park. I can go sit down and get my fill of them. Fill myself with them. I love animals. Love more in the more peculiar love of different animals that generally most people, some people don't like that much. I like spiders. I love spiders. Love spiders. Love snakes. Love hawks. Hawk, my favorite bird. Hawk. Hawk. I love crows. I love lions, snakes. Dogs can, okay, certain types, depending on what type of dog, yes. Some types of dog I'm allergic to. I don't react too well when they get close. Cats, more cats, yeah. But mostly spiders, snakes, lions, hawks, crows, yeah, eagles, crocodiles. Spiders, I love spiders. I let them roam free, never. Safe space here in this underground room of some temple. God is blessed. Bees, I love bees, bees. I love animals, insects, creatures. Doesn't, no creature, no insect, no reptile disgust me, or no, not even the spiders or tiny creeping creatures, cockroaches, or they don't disgust me at all. Anyways, I wonder, right? Coffee speculations. So if I do make a call, customer service, say, hey, listen, I really want to know, where does the coffee bean come from, which country, which exporter of coffee beans? Is it Colombia? Is it Vietnam? Is it Uganda? Is it Brazil? Is it Cuba? Is it Guatemala? Costa Rica? It could be so many countries, right? There's a top 10 exporters of in the world, and then you have the top five, and then you have the top 20, and about top 25, because I think that there's not more than 40 countries which actually produce coffee beans. Somewhere around that number of countries produce, grow, grow the coffee bean. I know they also grow some of them in Yemen, in maybe Saudi Arabia, not that much, but in Ethiopia, yes. Not sure Ethiopia is the top 10 though producer. Ethiopia might be ninth or 10th even, maybe 8th, maybe 11, 12. Good question. Could do research now, Google it, but if those numbers changed. But imagine the scenario. This CEO has been CEO for 13 years of this big producer of coffee, who's a subsidiary of a bigger producer and distributor of foods, bigger mega multinational corporations, which, hey, freedom and democracy for who, man? Freedom and democracy for who? Leaders of the free world. Freedom and democracy for who? Leaders of the free world. CEOs, multi-millionaire CEOs. Stock market. Now they're trading. Buy, sell, buy, sell. I say no more monkey business, no more monkey business, no more monkey business. Buy, sell, trade stock. Buy, sell, trade stock. Who owns stock? How much do you owe? How much do you owe, man? I have debt, 10,000. Once upon a time, when I was doing well economically, financially, commercially, there was a time, believe it or not, Dragan had investments, had investments. I'm good, man. I'm glad I got 156 trillions of kisses from the goddess, credited with the condition to distribute all my willingly loving allies and armies. That's what I got. Could kiss all day. Overtime, 9 to 5. Kiss, massage, dance, workout, train, exercise. Body is a temple for purpose and pleasure. The body is a temple for purpose and pleasure. The body is a temple for purpose and pleasure. Body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. Imagine the paradox, because it would be a paradox, that the CEO who gets of this corporation, it was half priced, so I bought it from, it's a big brand name, not that big, but in coffee produces a lot, but it's a subsidiary of, pretty sure, if you look at the label, it's a subsidiary of another bigger multinational. But when the CEO gets, let's say, 3 million plus bonus a year, 3 million a year, sits in an office, skyrise, skyscraper, size papers, looks at statistics, buy, sell, with a shareholders annual, has the, what's it called there, the what's it called, has the annual shareholders meeting, the executive CEO, executive directors, has got the what's it called, board of directors. Say, hey, does XYZ, whatever tasks, chores, and duties and work that the CEO does. He's there. He's been there since, let's say, 2007. Finally, my letter gets through my call somehow, or like a note. Let's say somehow I get a meeting, or 5 minute, 10 minute meeting, or I get a call to speak to the person. CEO, multi-millionaire, makes 3 million a year plus bonus, or 7 million, or whatever, 6 million a year, whatever the number is, plus the bonus if he does good in stocks. And the paradox would be that he doesn't even know himself, the top, where the bean actually comes from. I will call that a paradox, right? It would be a paradox, because, and in certain cases that is the case, because corporations, multinationals, since 1984, this is 1984, 1984, since 1984, I put that due to the Reagan being elected in the USA with his reforms, November 6th, November 6th, Ronald Reagan's election. My name, Adrian H. Dragan, Reagan, Dragan, Reagan. Nobody's born a dragon. Took me blood, sweat, and tears to turn that A into an O. Reagan, I think he was elected, pretty sure, November 6, 1984. Anyways, with his reforms, corporations, capitalism got financialized, became even more propulsed, and multi-American national corporations spread worldwide. And then 1989, Berlin Wall fell, and then 1996, and then 2007, great financial recession, ravaging the middle class even more in Canada and North America, right? With debt. I got debt, 10,000 too. I'm open for business, triple vaccinated, open for business. I've applied, I've worked essential work during COVID. Right now I'm open for business. Primarily Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom business. Putting my theories into application, citizen integration theory, debt refusion theory, democratic fusion theory, creating the two complementary covenant cooperative institutions, international citizen integrated social security and service force, aka the Dragon Army, complementary to the international integrated dancing goddess army. But, and I don't claim to know it all, and I admit, here's an admittance, yours truly, Dragon Zero aka Limp Dick, Dragon Zero aka Limp Dick, Dragon Zero aka Limp Dick. We got that out of the way, we can move to some more important things about securing and ensuring freedom and breaking this impasse. Think about that paradox that would be to the top CEO doesn't know himself, herself, themselves, where the coffee bean actually comes from. He would have to look at the files, where this particular himself doesn't know, right? And I don't know at all. I admit certain things I am below mediocre. At certain things I am mediocre. At other things, I am fucking useless. Kanye, marry your story in a BDSM switch marriage for world peace. Right? I admit it. Guilty. I'm not perfect. Far from it. Got issues, got vices, got lusts. I go on my march. I see XYZ, I lust. Right? You got, but listen, no. Certain things I don't know. I'm looking at this computer, I'm doing this recording. How much do I know? Well, I know a little bit. In a parallel night life, I can tell you everything about it, how it connects to the Wi-Fi and how the Wi-Fi wires are connected to other computers and servers, and those servers are interconnected, and then our actions and XYZ and code and satellites, SpaceX, NASA, and telecommunications and cosmodromes and computer science theory mixed with applied science and Wi-Fi theory and G5 networks and cellular telecommunication. I would know everything inside out from A to Z. I know everything A to Z in that parallel life about science, innovation, technology, smartphones, satellites, supercomputers, gadgets, coding, NSO Pegasus, NSO Pegasus, NSO Pegasus. Y'all got me too though. Me too though. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I watched porn during this weekend. Masturbate is hard. Not that hard, but nonetheless, just in case I play self-righteous, you know. I got, I got dirt. I get dirty, but get back clean. Royal, regal, lofty. I get dirty, but get back clean. Royal, regal, lofty. I get dirty, but get back clean. Royal, regal, lofty. Stop throwing dirt poison. I'm filling my eye, bro. I'm getting no more piece of this ass. Y'all had enough. You know how to hide better, you know. Pointed fingers. We don't admit we have jealousies. And I've lived, experienced dark aspects of humanity, of my own nature. I've experienced it. Dark shades that we don't admit, the jealousies that we envy. And we say, hey, look at this person, 6'6", so muscular, XYZ, or whatever. Right? How many my sister would admit, I'm a bit jealous. She has nice body and she gets more attention, gets more money. I don't want to do things out of resentment, out of it. I want to do them out of love on the will, love on the will, love on the will. It's high state, ego, right? I don't claim to attain the highest spiritual levels. I lust, I crave, I get moody, I get angry. I'm flesh and blood. I eat, I pee, I watch pornography during the weekend. I masturbated. Yeah, I admit it. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Freedom and democracy for who? For who? CEOs, multi-millionaire financiers. For, for shareholders, man. Stock owners. Hmm? Open question. How do we ensure and secure freedom? My take is creative solutions to break impasses. And I'm gonna say this, and I've said it, that my brothers and sisters, ain't no way that during COVID, if I would have had millions of dollars, that I would have not financed at least the children's toys, gifts, or gifts, toys, bags with gifts during the holiday season, the tough economic, financial, commercial holiday season, which most went through. Because when the price of gas goes up, food prices have increased. Middle class, where you at? Who is affected? Most Canadians, most North Americans, most world citizens. As much as I'm a global LGBTQ rainbow citizen. I gotta act local, think global, act local, think global, act local, think global, right? And slogans and cliches. Well, you can carry them for. Been carrying them since. And philosophy and intellect. I can use sophisticated words and parlance and XYZ. And sometimes maybe I do, and it's not necessary. Sometimes it's better be straightforward and direct, direct and straightforward, direct and straightforward. Right? Like right now, what I could use. Somebody said, and I said, please, if you're on social media, you're not gonna offer alternative solutions or proposals or show love or criticize with an alternative. What would you do, or what would you have done, or what do you propose? And I'm gonna take it as barking, barking, barking. So I said, I want to hear dogs bark, my brothers and sisters. I can go in a dog park, sit there for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours until I get my fill of it. And somebody said shrink this, psychology, whatever, mental illness, and I'm not perfect, but I said I don't fucking need a shrink. What I do fucking need is a good deep massage so I can feel good and say, let's see, para fitness. Still got work to do. 77 pounds down. 77 pounds down. More than 77. That's what I need, a massage. So back to the coffee. So imagine the scenario, the CEO or the corporation. So now I get through to him. So, Mr. XYZ, ZYX, YZ, whatever the name. Finally get through to you. It took me a few days, whatever. Years. I purchased regularly this brand of coffee from you, and it doesn't have the label. It's not written on the label. Only indication is that it's rich dark roast. Rich dark roast. Yes, rich dark roast. But on the back it doesn't say the country of origin, the provenance, where the coffee originates from, because it's we don't grow coffee in Canada, not even in artificial means. We don't grow coffee, right? And we can't grow coffee, right? In Canada we don't grow it. Where does it come from? I want to know. He doesn't know. He has to look at files, and then the files indicate that 30% of the coffee comes from, let's say, Colombia, 45% comes from Brazil, 10% comes from Vietnam, and then the other percent from other. So it could be that this information is not easily, right, accessed or retrieved. Somebody down the line must know. There is a definite place in the world, on the goddess's body, which the trees are but the hairs bigger than me, who's a piece of dust, although dancing poetic dust. That it comes from that place. Where does it come from? The coffee bean could be XYZ, and even the CEO makes millions of dollars doesn't even know, right? Doesn't even know, because the supply chains have evolved over so many decades, right? And then evolved and evolved. Corporations, nationals have become so big, and so many dealings and so many arrangements throughout the many decades. Intricate economic, financial, commercial dealings have been made with financial institutions and banks and XYZ, that throughout the papers it's a big one of the top sellers in Canada of coffee. Let's say top 5, top 10, let's say top 10, top 10. sellers, this particular brand, right, in the top 10 sellers across Canada, coast to coast, with millions of coffee drinkers, right? And this particular one, dark roast, it has a few flavors. It has decaf, it has medium dark roast, light dark roast, and this one is rich dark roast, right? It has several coffee types of brands and imports from several countries, maybe from 5 countries, 6 countries, seven, and the CEO just has the percentage: 30% from Brazil, 20% from Colombia, 15% from Vietnam, and the other percentages from other countries, right? It could be that it's not even exact, you know what I'm saying, like on the chart that he sees or whatever. And it could be that it's from the other. It can be one of the top three. Let's say he has a chart there, sees 20, 30% Colombia, 25% Brazil, 15% Vietnam, and then, so that's how many percentage? 30% plus 25, that's 55 plus 15, that gives us to 70. 70% is covered by those three that the importations come from those countries, right? 70%. And then the 30% is other. Other could be Guatemala, Honduras, Costa Rica, Panama, right? Uganda could be there. Ivory Coast, right? Other coffee producing countries. That 30%. So it could be that it's one of those countries. It could be it's also a mix. I've seen on certain coffee, for the first time, I've seen only once, I think, was it 3 or 4 countries? I'm sure 3 was affordable coffee at an affordable store here. And for the first time, I've seen that it actually said on it, coffee from, and it had, remember, Vietnam, Brazil, Colombia, and I think it had another country. So they had mixed 3 or 4 different beans from different countries together in that coffee to sell it on the market. Imagine. So that's what they had done. They had mixed the beans from those countries, mixed them up. So it could be that the answer to this question, there is an answer to the question for sure. It could be a mixture, but it could be from XYZ. But it could be that, interestingly enough, how the system has been, it's more so complex that even the top chief honcho, the top CEO of the corporation, would not be able to find that answer, or would have to really do an investigation so thorough so that it would not be conclusive, or it would be, but, or maybe he knows, or maybe he said, oh, I know because I drink that coffee and I did the research just last week. I was curious and I can tell you that this coffee is from this country or XYZ. But it could also be that it has, it could be that it has, he has the information exactly where the bean comes from, which country. Or it could be that he has, like I said, an information that's limited, or you could leave to speculation, to guessing, whatever, educated guess or whatever, because you know the top 5, top 10 exporting countries of coffee. But originally, the coffee was made and produced and created as all over the world. And this is a fact, regardless of the complex details of the intricacy of our supply chains and socioeconomics and capitalist evolutionary system into a financialized version of capitalism and democracy and freedom for who? Everybody gotta eat, don't we? Rich, poor, small, tall, big and great. LGBTQ like me or not, hopefully an ally. Don't throw holy water at yours truly when I say goddess. Just give me a foam bath so I can take more baths. I get dirty but get back clean. So it could be that this information, of course, exists. It's from a definite place, a state, a country, defined by its own internal laws and hopefully fair trade, hopefully fair trade, hopefully fair trade. But it could be that the CEO of this corporation doesn't know where the coffee is from. And right now, to do another meditation, how much coffee is drinking now, people, in Hawk Island, Montreal? Well, I'm pretty sure if I walk in my march, I'm going to see how many I'm going to see people drinking coffee from whatever place they bought coffee from, the big corporations. And there's the dominating ones, right? I'm not going to name them because they already make enough. They don't give me a dollar or sponsor me a cup of motherfucking coffee, motherfucker. Anyways, so they're walking around now, right? Drinking coffee. That coffee could be from Brazil, could be from Colombia, Vietnam, Costa Rica, and now coffee is being transported on trucks across North America, right? How many at this point in time? There's a definite number. There's a definite number at this point in time that the coffee is being transported on trucks now, as I'm speaking now. Coffee is being transported, right? Actually, I'm gonna need a refill. Hold on. So doing this meditation, like whether my hope or not that the farmers who harvested with their labor the fruits, because originally comes in a red berry, and the black or dark shade of brown comes in a red berry, and is initially created, made and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. Right? Initially, in essence, and now fruits, vegetables, and legumes. All fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. Now, that our brothers and sisters, farmers, harvest for us to make, upgrade, and maintain civilization, and that politicians, leaders, Canada, United States Congress, Parliament, yours truly, Adrian, Dragan, androgynous, pansexual, orders you to go give them a goddamn massage, kissing of the hands and washing of the goddamn feet, and I'll do it with you. We're gonna go together. Yours truly, citizen, androgynous, pansexual, Adrian, Dragan, with the armies, police, and artists, and the goddamn LOV. Anyways, because everybody gotta eat, don't we? Rich CEOs, he's drinking a coffee now. Like I said, the meditations. It doesn't say the country of origin on this coffee that I'm drinking. What I do know is that it says rich dark roast, rich dark roast, rich dark roast. I'm doing this video, recording it. I'm drinking this coffee, meditating on a cup of coffee. The dance of the goddess with her brother sun, who makes and creates all coffee beans, originally in a red berry. That black coffee bean comes from, dark, whatever shades of black and brown, and sometimes has a little goldenish, golden like on solar rays. But it's made, created, and produced by the rays of the sun, and the dance with the goddess who receives now at a macro scale. It's 2:12 p.m. EST. That means that it's, what time is it in? It's 11:13 on the West Coast. Vancouver, British Columbia, California, LA on the West Coast, right? -3, right on Canada, United States, Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, Panama, Costa Rica, all the way down to Colombia, Bolivia, and all the countries, Peru, Paraguay, Uruguay, Brazil, Chile, Ecuador, Peru. All the countries are being illuminated now by the rays of the sun. And I can smash those satellites, man. Illuminating such a macro on a macro level. All the countries of North America, Central America, South America, making, creating, and producing fruits. Don't forget, in Latin America now, it's autumn, so it's more harvest of the grapes, my favorite fruit, right? So all those fruits, vegetables, and legumes are initially created and made and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother sun. And regardless whether the CEO who gets, since 2007, gets 3 million, 13.3, 13.4, whatever, 13.18 million a year, or 3 million a year, 13 million, 11 million, whatever millions he's getting a year annually and has been getting since, let's say, 2007 or 2010, whatever, has been CEO for whatever, salaries increased not in parallel to the workers, grocery store clerks, to the transportation workers, the truckers, to the other rest of us. That he doesn't know. And the information he has is limited. So even if I get the call to him, sits in an office, skyscraper, he says he doesn't know where the comes from. Couldn't tell. The paradox, the paradox, the paradox. Where the coffee bean comes from. Because it says rich dark roast, that I know. I know how many grams, 930 grams, how much I paid for it. I bought it half because gotta buy my coffee and all products, food coffees on a budget, on a budget, on a budget. Half price. Know that. Know the brand. Know that this brand is actually a brand owned. It's a subsidiary of a corporation, a big multinational corporation, whose CEO makes whatever millions a year plus the bonus, another millions in bonus, right? How much he donates to charity, food security, I don't know. Maybe he has 7 houses, 7 cars. You don't need another one. Just give to people to work out, train, exercise a little bit. Selfish. I'm not selfless, totally. Try to be in the middle. I admit it. I would love to have, if I would get some, there'll be some red, another red hoodie to have 3 because I have 2. I bought them secondhand. Secondhand, I'm good to go. You're in our house. Anyways, getting the call through. Doesn't know where the coffee bean comes from. Where does it come from? There is a definite place, an area, whether it's the top 5 producers of coffee beans, top 10 producers, whether it's Guatemala, Chile. Chile doesn't produce that much, but top in Latin America and the world is Brazil is top number 1 still. Producer of coffee beans in the world. And has been for many years now. Brazil. Then Colombia also produces a lot. Bolivia, Cuba, Costa Rica produces. In Africa, you got Uganda, you got Ivory Coast, right? Vietnam is also top 5. I believe it's even second now in the world producer of coffee beans. Vietnam, because they've been cultivating since 2010. They dedicated a big area of farming to coffee bean cultivation, and they export a lot now in the past decade. Vietnam, coffee beans. So it could be that it's from the top 5, from the top 10, but not necessarily. It could be from Ethiopia, right? It could be from Ethiopia. It could be from Africa. It could be from Latin America. It could be from Asia. Maybe the CEO at the top makes millions doesn't even know her. He makes the research. He looks up. I found some information. Found the brand Rich Dark Roast. I found this. Check the batch, whatever was produced. Oh, 10%. It says 30%. It could be from Brazil, 20% from Colombia, and 15% from, let's say, Ivory Coast. So you got 30% plus 25, that's 55, and 15 is 70%. And the 30% it says other, whatever other, it could be a combination of different countries. So it could be that information, even the CEO at the top doesn't know. But there is an information and there is a definite knowledge. With all the complexities of the markets, integrated supply chains, this is a universal truth and fact. All fruits, vegetables, and legumes. And it's black coffee, now I'm getting down to energize, to finish my laundry, to eat something, to take a shower, and to go march for world peace in Hawk Island, Montreal, and do more meditations. Speculation. Invest in the body. The body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. Leaders of the free world, the politicians, they encourage you to work out, train, exercise, to take baths. They say I love you. They don't even say I love you. Who do you want me? You want me to take orders to join who? Army of who, man? Canadian Armed Forces, U.S. Armed Forces, which Armed Forces, man? Y'all motherfuckers all on your goddamn minds, man. Y'all people are disconnected, man. Drop down and give Dragon Zero some push-ups with love and for world peace. Don't even say I love you, man. Fuck, I'm willing to fucking say for. If not for LOV. Hopefully somebody's making love now. Kissing, kiss, massage. Kiss, dance, with consent and hygiene, with consent and hygiene, with consent and hygiene. Oh, fuck, I'm fighting for if not for LOV, man. That's what I can fucking use right now. Yeah, motherfuckers are disconnected, man. Fuck you living at? Living in gated communities, man. Shit. Thought my jokes were bad. Man. Anyways. And I'm not perfect, got vices. Gods. I don't know at all. I've questions, questions, questions. Pyramids remain. And there's a joke I'm gonna say. There's a discussion between a mystic, a fool, and a whore. And I was the whore. I was the whore. In a past life in Berlin, 19 half Jewish whore. Probably am today too. I am today too, clearly. 1930s Berlin, 1920s, 2020s, before those guys took power. Between 1925 and 1929. So I served, I was a priest, a mystic, and a rabbi. During the day there, the cabaret, we had a family oriented cafe, and they were having a discussion, and I kept serving them coffee and tea and brought them lunch. And I overheard their discussion. They were discussing the Exodus, XYZ, fiery discussion. I overheard something, and I started laughing like the whore that I was and that I am. And I overheard. I said, "Why are you laughing?" The priest, the poet Aleister Crowley, and the rabbi asked, "Why?" Those three, a rabbi, Aleister Crowley, the poet, and the priest. The priest, Aleister Crowley, the poet, and the rabbi were there at the table arguing, discussing. Priest about his Jesus, Rabbi Moses, and Aleister Crowley, well, his poetry and his speculations and his goofiness. And I started laughing and said, "Oh no, come back. Why are you laughing? What was so funny?" They asked, and they said, "Yeah, we want to know." And I said, I was a woman in that past life. I was a cabaret dancer, exotic dancer, and sex worker in 1920s Berlin. And so, well, I was just laughing because, because you were saying that, you know, Moses overthrew the gods of Egypt in the Exodus. I said, "Yeah, it's written in the Torah and the Holy Bible. So what?" I said, "Well, I said I found that funny." The rabbi said, "Why do you find it funny?" The priest, "Yeah, what's funny with that? That's the truth." The priest said, "Oh, it was, of course, he's Rabbi Jesus. Rabbi Jesus had some okay teachings. I'm not necessarily against some of the teachings of Rabbi Jesus. Just Matthew 12, verse 42 is a bit too much for me with the Solomon. Why not, whatever, praise Solomon and say, oh, what wisdom and XYZ. And the other situation with concerning the poet Crowley also said, "Yeah, I'm curious," he said, smiling and laughing. He said, "Well, you say that Moses overthrew all the gods of Egypt." And the rabbi said, "Yes, he did. So true. It's written." The priest said, "Of course." And Crowley said, "Maybe not all." And I laughingly said, "Not all indeed, except for one." "Except for one," said the priest. "Except for one," said the rabbi. "Well, yeah." "So which one?" said the priest. And Crowley smiled. "Yeah, who?" I pointed with my fingers at the smiling sun. I said, "Well, chief one. Otherwise, I would have tripped and I would have spilled the coffee that I'm bringing to you all over you." That's what I said to them. I said, "You might have overthrown the gods of Egypt. Some of them, but not all, except the chief one." Ra, of course, the sun. and not except for one. Otherwise, I would have spilled the coffee that I'm bringing. I would have spilled it all over you, right? So, well, except for one, the chief one. Except otherwise, I would have spilled my coffee all over you. So, when I say the goddess who dances with a bird of sun, of course, I'm just this piece of dust. Hairs on the goddess's body, these trees, look, 3 times, 7 times my size. So that is the hairs of the body of the goddess. When I say goddess, of course, it's a universal fact, truth. Whether you disagree, whatever we believe about what the Mother Nature is, the planet, the earth, whatever we believe to be true or not, or how we phrase it scientifically, nature, the greatest scientist, Mother Nature, greatest scientist, greatest artist, Mother Nature, the greatest scientist, the greatest artist, Mother Nature, the greatest scientist, and the greatest artist, Mother Nature, the greatest scientist, and the greatest artist. However we phrase that, however we put it in a scientific, allegorical, metaphorical way, black fertile earth with the water and the elements and the sun rays, the rays of the sun. Now sunrises and sunsets. Maybe somewhere there's storms and thunder and clouds now. This beautiful blue sky. But like some clouds are coming here and there. Some clouds are here and there. Maybe could be phrased differently, but it's a universal truth. All fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. And regardless whether the CEO doesn't know where the coffee bean from my particular rich dark roast coffee that I'm drinking now comes from, there is a definite point in a country, in a place where Latin America, Asia, Vietnam, or Africa, where it is, could be from a mixture, could be a composite mixing of them, right? But the fact remains that originally, just like all ALL other fruits, vegetables, and legumes, carrots, peas, potatoes, legumes, bananas, fruits, lentils, beans, all fruits, vegetables, and legumes, even this black coffee bean, which comes from a red berry, is originally made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her the sun. That's a more spiritual, mystic, metaphysical way of putting it, as I phrase it, and that's my way of phrasing it. But it's also science, universal. It's a truth, universal truth. Can have some, and all our building, maintaining, and upgrading civilization is have food surplus, have food. Right? I got food for this 22 day. I'm good, even if I don't receive, buy, or acquire any other food. I'm good, right? I'm good. I will survive. I have survived so much already. This is a universal fact and truth. Now, goddess, when I say goddess, it might still offend a lot of people. Say God, God, God. Well, too much God and not enough of the goddess to balance it, right? A sword of freedom to ensure and secure freedom. Freedom and democracy for a CEO who gets millions of dollars a year. For multi-millionaire owners of the patriarchal sports leagues, the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, huh? NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. For who? For the Pope. A pope, man. Dance around the pope like a for who? Now I admit certain things I am useless. I am below mediocre, average. But I am world's greatest living dancing millennial rainbow poet. Got some brains and some muscle. I do firmly believe that my theories, written over many past years of suffering and struggle, citizen integration theory, CIT, democratic fusion theory, and debt refusion theory, democratic fusion theory, debt refusion theory, and citizen integration theory. That trinity of theories written for more than past 7 years are made the libraries of the city of Montreal, Hawk Island, my second home, and the many tens of thousands of books, my friends, and the greatest book of all, which I cannot bear open, book of the goddess who dances with a bird of sun, Mother Nature, the greatest artist and scientist, Mother Nature, the greatest scientist and artist, Mother Nature, the greatest artist and scientist. Lee, the Scorpio gets his orders from a Leo child. The Scorpio gets his orders from a Leo child. The Scorpio gets his orders from a Leo child. So the question, although I might perhaps never know this rich dark roast coffee, where does it come from? Where does it originate? Whether from Colombia, whether from Ivory Coast, whether from Vietnam, or whether from another country and then state on planet Earth, this I do know for sure, that originally, initially, this black coffee bean was made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. With the rays of the sun, fertilization, fertility, black, fertile earth, and the water and the rain and the elements within it created with the fertility, as all other fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced. That I know without a fact. And another fact, my brothers and sisters, farmers, harvested it, perhaps somewhere in Latin America, Africa, or Asia. And then it was transported, if it's another continent, of course, crossing the waters by big ships going in a port, whether in Hawk Island, Montreal, or on the West Coast, and then put on a truck. If it's in Latin America, could be, if it's, let's say, closer, like if it's from Panama or Costa Rica or Guatemala, right? Could be that it was from Latin America and it was transported by truck. That I do know. Whether the CEO, who has been making millions of dollars a year for, let's say, 13.3 years now, he knows or not, or he can find out. Since 1984, the corporations have evolved, become so expansive, and the intricacy of our supply chains, and now with the smartphones and telecommunications and internet connected, whether able to find out or not, there is a definite answer, and there is some facts which do know for sure that coffee bean originally, like all other fruits, vegetables, and legumes, was made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. And now 2:30, 4 p.m. I'm about to wrap up this, go take a shower, eat something, and go march, meditate scenarios, and march for world peace here in Hawk Island, Montreal for another few hours. Initially, originally, it was created, made, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. As all other fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced. Whether the CEO knows or not of the corporations, of the multinationals who produce and sell or buy it from the producers, the farmers, small, medium, or large. Hopefully fair trade, fair trade, fair trade. Maybe I'll never know. Or this rich dark roast, the coffee bean, the coffee bean, the coffee bean comes from either Latin America, Asia, or Africa. Could be from either continent. Could be from the top 5 producing countries. Could be from the top 10. Could be from a blend. But that I do know that it was made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. Like all other fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made and created, produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. Harvested by my brothers and sisters, farmers, and transported by my brothers and sisters, truckers. Should I give some kisses, some massages, some shing of the feet. Oh yeah, no, CPU rail strike here. Those are coffee meditations, calling all willingly living, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, which yours truly androgynous pansexual founder has found. CEOs, the unemployed, the struggling, the rich and the poor, the tall and the great, LGBTQ or not, hopefully ally, not persecutors, or us rainbow folk, calling all willingly loving. I do firmly believe that my trinity of theories is best to be implemented at this point in time. Citizen integration theory, tetra fusion theory, and democratic fusion theory. Trinity of theories which I've written over the past more than 7 years. One foot in the library, the other foot in the streets. Struggled, suffered, got out of depression, being suicidal. And I am for the greater good and not perfect, far from it. Don't hide my vices or lust. Maybe on this march I'm gonna lust. I do. Most of these politicians ain't got half my passion. They just got more money for a PR session, campaign, public relations, hiring of a public relations company. Better money for advertising, money for transportation, private planes and jets, and for a suit and tie. Suit and tie. I have to dress royal, regal, lofty, but the tie would be too tight for my neck, and I'd loosen up a bit. Adrian, Dragan, my willing, loving allies and armies, bless you. Don't waste your time, life is short. Kiss, hug, make love tonight, make love tonight, make love tonight.